Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending where in the world you are, and of course, what time of day or night it is either. Welcome to the podcast Up on the Edge with Al and Owen. I'm your host, Alan Neild, Big Al, or just Al, whatever you want to call me. And each week, I'm going to be joined by regular co-host Owen Sherratt and other special guests along the way too. Right, let's get right into it. This is the podcast Up on the Edge.
Yeah. Hey, and it's good that he wants to do what the ref wouldn't.
Yes.
Did you get that impression?
I heard it.
Yeah. You come and see me, lads. You come and see me, and that bloke that you
what
don't
can
like.
We do for each other? What can we do for each other? Oh, hey, it's Big Lou. We got Big Lou.
I tell you, one of the funniest men I've ever met. This guy.
Hiya.
How are you doing, fella? You all right?
I'm good. How are you? All right?
All right. Look at that. That's a fancy headset you've got there, mate.
Yeah, it's NHS issue. No, not messing about. The work from home jobby.
Is it?
COVID free.
Yeah. You got to see his front room because he works in the stores. He's full of rubber gloves, his house.
Yeah. You're not wrong, actually.
I've
got hundreds of mice and keyboards.
How you keeping anyway?
I'm good, mate. I'm all right. I'm keeping sane, keeping busy, just waiting for it all to end.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it will eventually. Soon, not really. I'm not holding out. If we get Christmas next year, that'll be a bonus.
This rate will be,
yeah. Year, I mean, yeah.
So
I'm not holding out anything. Yeah.
No. So obviously, those that don't know Big Lou, Big Lou's one of the funniest guys I've had the pleasure of meeting. He is. It's really funny. If you've never seen his stand-up act and you get a chance to go, you've got to go. Because it really, and the thing is, some of the stuff he talks about really hits home. And you're thinking, wow, especially if you're like me, I'm off a council estate, and the stuff you talk about. And I was crying because we all know somebody like the people you're talking about. So, and of course, as well as doing the stand-up, you actually do the coaching for the stand-up as well, don't you?
I did do for a bit, yeah. I did a course myself, and I just thought, you can't teach anyone to be funny. You can just give them the formula and the science behind it. To format what you've got. So I've not done that for a while, but it is something I've done. Yeah.
Because I know you. Because you coached me, and I've got to admit, I still don't remember now. If mate hadn't been now on the video, I still wouldn't remember doing my first stand-up set.
Yeah, that was that was in Leeds, wasn't it?
Yeah, the Milan bar. Yeah,
the Milan bar. Yeah.
And then I did another one which I'll come to, and again. It just whizzes past. And
that was at the railway, right? Wasn't it? How long did you do on your first set then?
I did about 6 minutes, I think. 7. I think.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
I think Lou said set out for 5, and I got.
He waffled on a bit.
7.
He tried to bring it back and that, and he just kept going.
Yeah.
No, it was good. It was good. Alan would be great. Alan would be good.
I've done it.
I've done it. Yeah.
Oh, have you? Yeah, well, I'm saying you'd be perfect, mate.
So what happened is a mutual friend of ours, Andy Wilkinson, Smug Roberts. He so I've known Andy for donkeys, and he said, right, come on, we're going out. He said, we're going to pick our kid up, and he sadly passed away now. But I said, well, where are we going? It's fine. He said, just get in the car. Took us down to the Frog and Bucket Monday night, right? And he made yeah, that's the one. He made me and his brother do Beat the Frog. And I'm like, what? I even got a fucking joke in my head. What am I going to do?
It's frightening, isn't it? I mean,
he gave me one joke. That was it. And I did it. I can't even, it was about a dog or something like that, where you wiped its ass with a rag that's got some petrol on or something. But the rest of the time before it, what I did was I talked about myself. And the fact that I had a wife and an ex-wife and 3 daughters, and even my dog was a bitch, and and just sort of just put a bit, and then I told one joke, and before you knew it, I'd beat the frog.
Wow,
which was just
going in cold. That's pretty amazing. You know what I mean?
Oh,
mate. It's tough. I mean, it's tough.
Yeah.
That was part of my coaching thing. My coaching thing was, I'll give you enough to be able to sort of like beat the frog. So some people who've never done it before, they'll get up and they'll freeze, or they'll and ah, and before you know it, the cards are up and they're gone.
Yeah.
And I used to say to people, right, simple things, move the mic out of the way, be clear, look at them, don't look at the floor. And it's them little things that make the difference. So I never said you'd win Beat the Frog, but you'd get through it. I'd give you enough to get through it, sort of thing. So
yeah. Yeah.
But it is tough.
Yeah. How are you finding it now? Because obviously, I bet you had quite a few gigs and stuff, but for last year, and probably some of this year as well. But with the COVID,
I'm now cancelling gigs now that were put in to replace the ones that cancelled last year. So we're now cancelling the secondary gigs now.
Yeah.
So I have got gigs in for the whole year that month by month are getting knocked off. But I've done a few online gigs, which tough. It's like this now with you two, except there's 80 of them.
Yeah.
So there's like 4 pages of 20 of people.
Yeah.
So the money was daft because it was a corporate.
Yeah.
So I wasn't going to say no. I said, yeah, I'll do it. I turned them all the others down, but the money was good. And I thought, you know what? I need it. I'm going to do it. And all I did was at the start, I got briefed by the HR woman, top law firm in London as well it was. And I said to her, listen, I need everyone to turn the mics off because as soon as someone starts talking on Zoom, you start stepping on people and you can't hear what they're saying. And other people are just going to miss it. So I said, I want everyone on silent. So we had 5 minutes before we started. Me and the other 2 acts were having a bit of banter with people that we could see. And then I said, right, we're going to start now. Everyone turn your mics off, which was weird because you couldn't hear them laughing, but you could see them smiling and you could see them laughing. So it was enough to keep you going. And it worked a treat. It worked a treat. So
that's got to be part of it, hasn't it?
Yeah. Why can you not organise more of those yourself, maybe, and get a lineup going?
Yeah, the only thing is, it's how you monetize it. You know, I don't want to. This was easy because they were paying a wedge of money to me and 2 comedians, so it was easy.
Yeah.
Whereas if I was having to say to someone, right, we're going to put a gig on, it's a £5 to log in. I don't know. I've already lost interest in it. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to police it, and I don't want to do it. So, if someone said to me now, "Will you do 15 minutes?" Because what I was doing was during lockdown, I was recording a set like now. I'd record it on video and send it them. And then they'd play it, and that was fine. Whereas doing it live is different again. But I'd definitely do it if someone's put one on and they've asked me to do it now. I'll do it now because I know how to do it.
Yeah.
Because what I was doing, I was looking in the screen. I was seeing Tracy sat there on a phone. So I'd say, Tracy, turn your mic on. So Tracy turns the mic on, and I give it her big time. And you can see everyone laughing. Right, turn your mic off now and turn your phone off, Tracy. And it was great. You could do that. You could pick on them that way. So that works.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, because obviously it's a new concept, really, isn't it? But it's been sort of forced upon us. But
you have to adapt, don't you?
Yeah, of course you do. Yeah. So, obviously, you had your regular gigs in the Railway and at the Milan Bar. Were they still going strong up until?
Railway had already finished by the time COVID hit. Milan Bar, Rick, who runs Milan Bar, we'd stopped doing it because he wasn't getting the numbers. And I think he tried a few of his own, but I don't think he got that many in.
Yeah.
I still have my Press Switch one going, which was absolutely flying.
Is that the one at the church?
I moved it to Press Switch Liberal Club.
Right.
I only needed 25 to break even, and I was getting 110 people every month ramming it. So because of that, I could get the likes of Justin Morehouse and Archie Kelly and the bigger names.
Yeah.
And I went from having one act being paid and the rest were all like a bit not ropey, but they weren't getting paid, so they weren't top notch. I was paying them all in the end because I was making loads of money, which it wasn't for me. It was to put back into the gig. So I was paying 3 really good acts then to do it. So there was no money being made, but they were getting the best possible lineups they could. So.
How did you get into it in the first place then? Well, why comedy? How did you fall into it? How long ago was it?
If I'd have known about comedy and how to do it, I'd have done it in 1981 or something when I was 16. I'd have got into it straight away.
You're never that old.
Honestly, I just, if someone said to you, I want to be a comedian, how'd you do it? You know what I mean? How'd you start being a comedian? So I saw an advert in the paper. I was 44 years old, paper, advert on the back of some Wythenshawe free paper it was. Do you want to be the next Carolina Hearn? Not really, but I'll be a comedian. And it was a comedy course with Seymour Mace. And a guy called Ashley Baroda. And I went along to it, and it was 12 weeks, every Monday night in Wythenshawe Forum for 11 weeks. And on the 12th week, we did the Comedy Store, like a gig. You all got 5 minutes each. There was 13 of us, and I did 12 minutes. because there was no way I was getting off. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
once you're
waited
up
all
there.
that time, yeah.
Yeah.
And he was at the back going, and I'm going. Just kept going. So, and I loved it. And then I thought, right, I'm going to do all these competitions that everyone talks about now, because I thought I'm 44, I'm savvy. I know what they need. I know what you need to do and what you can't do. You've got to get them in the first 30 seconds, and once you've got them on board, you can relax. Then, so
yeah,
my first 5 gigs were all competitions, and I won them all because I was a bit savvy, and it fast tracked me. Then I got paid work straight away.
Yeah.
So
that's the thing, because I know I used to work at Southern in Cholton there.
Oh, yeah.
And they had obviously the bus club upstairs with is it Agraman used to do it. Yeah. And he'd get up, he'd tell a few jokes and the worst jokes you ever heard, but that was part of his charisma and stuff. And we've been to a few there. And I tell you what, used to love it.
All the big names that are up there now started there. You know, they all did it. Yeah.
So, and the landlady, Anne, she was brilliant, but she took no messing. No messing at all.
I suppose there's like a market in there for telling shit crap jokes, as long as the delivery's right.
Well, yeah. As long as the personality of the person saying it is funny.
Yeah.
Like there used to be a gig in Cholton on a Monday night called Mirth on Monday at a little wine bar place. God, what was it called? Can't think what it was called. And he was called Des Sharples. Lovely bloke, Des Sharples. He was in Looking for Eric and all that. He was a bit of he was in Phoenix Nights when he stole the fruit machine. That was him.
Oh right, yeah.
And it was great. But some of his jokes, because it was running every Monday, he had to MC it every Monday, and every Monday same jokes, right. And it didn't matter because it was Des.
Yeah,
it didn't matter. You know, he could get away with it. It's not about the jokes. It was about him being warm and welcoming, and everyone's relaxed because it's just Des, and it's just Des having a laugh. And there's a few like that. Yeah.
Who's your favourite comedian then? Who would you say was the person that you wanted to emulate when you were coming through?
I think I've always loved Billy Connolly since being a young kid and seeing Billy Connolly on Parkinson.
Yeah,
and I adore the guy. I've watched everything he's ever done, every travel series, everything he's ever done. I love him. I just think he's a treasure.
What is it about him then? Is it his personality?
Just a bloke. It's just a bloke talking.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's not like he's got these formulas like, you know, these setups and punchlines. He hasn't. He's just got funny stories. And I think that's a northern thing, you know, telling stories in the pub and that. Yeah. Just being the storyteller. So a lot of I mean, like what you said there, a lot of my stuff is real life. It's all happened. I've just made it funny. I've enhanced it just to make it, God, did that really happen? I go, no, it didn't happen. I didn't find a vibrator after my mum died. I just thought it would be funny if I did. So I wrote this big thing about finding a dildo when my mum died. And it was hilarious. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it
just because it was
true.
my dad's, you know. Yeah. So.
I wonder why it's tasted funny.
Hey, they still don't taste like shit.
The thing is, what I think as well, if you're going to do that like I do, it's got to have an ounce of believability.
Yeah.
Like if I said I was in Sainsbury's and an alien came up to me, it didn't, did it? So straight away, someone's going to lose interest in that. So if you're telling a story that could have happened, they're thinking, God, that could have happened to me, that. Or something like that nearly happened to me. And I think that's why you get away with it and how they relate to it. And they like it a bit. They like you a little bit more for being a bit like them, I think.
Smug was really good at, I don't know if he still does. I'm not, obviously not seen him for 12 months live. But he used to tell stories that were probably a female role, but done by a bloke. So, you know, he used to talk about his wife going out on a Saturday night and meeting all the girls and one thing or another. It's usually the bloke that goes out and meets all his mates. And she, you know, she comes home and she can't get the key in the door, and she ends up kicking the door open and one, you know, and
role reversal.
Yeah, it's like he just flips the story, and because he's, you know, it's a story that we've all heard time and time and time again, but because it's got that twist to it, everyone's pissing the pants laughing at it and finds it really, really funny.
But Smug's not a fantastic joke writer. Smug's a fantastic storyteller.
Yes,
and because he's likable and warm, you go along with the story. He does one about the woman who answers the phone at the doctor's surgery, and he has a slag. You know, he's slagging her off because everyone's had that interaction with the woman at the doctor's, and they're all going, "Yeah, that's happened to me." That's a bit. What does she want to know? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and he does, and is like mine. Whereas if I write something new, it'll be a story about something that happened or might have happened or could have happened with loads of punchlines in it, as opposed to a setup and a punchline. It's not. There's punchlines all the way, and I think that's the good thing. That's why Smug is as good as he is, because he does that a lot.
So how long before we see you at the arena or somewhere like that then? Headline.
You know what? I only ever did it to do it once. I always wanted to do it once. And then when I did it, so every level I've ever achieved has been more than I ever thought of.
Right.
I just wanted to do it once. So I got a phone call the other day off for like a former Premiership footballer asking how I was. And I'm like, wow, do you know what I mean? How did that happen? You know, when you do dinners with these people, and then the next thing, you're getting a phone call of Kevin Ratcliffe, who was the captain of your team when you used to go and watch him in the Cup Winners' Cup final and things like that. So that's just blown me mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, all these, like Joe Royle. I've worked with Joe Royle 3 times, and he's my absolute number one hero of all time.
He's a dude, isn't he?
Yeah. Oh, I've got a tattoo on my arm. He said, I did a dinner with him, and I said, do us a favor, just put your autograph on that little bit of paper. So he did it, and he gave it me. He said, what's it for? So I'm going to get it tattooed on my arm. He went, don't be stupid. So I said, no, I am, seriously. So a week later, I said to the tattoo fella, I want that on my arm. And then, in fact, do us a favor, stick a number 9 underneath it as well. So about 3 weeks later, I went to this dinner in Liverpool, me and Joe Royle, and he went, hey, did you ever get that tattoo? And I rolled my sleeve up, and he was made up. Do you know what I mean?
Was it?
Oh, he was delighted. I've got a great picture of him pointing at it and smiling.
He is a top block. He used to live around the corner from us here. And many years ago, when he was the manager at Latics, I used to drive him about on a Saturday night, like after the games, and take this is out to different restaurants. And he was always a big tipper, which was always fantastic. And he was always very sincere and wanted to know about you, and that the wife was all right and the kids were all right, and one thing or another. So, you know, never ever a City fan, don't get me wrong, but he's one of the best blokes.
Oh, I love him to death. Yeah, I mean, love him to death. Yeah.
So I met him when he was at City at one of these fans forum things, and again, you can just. I think when I go on to these forums, there's only been a handful of people that really captivated me. One was it was at one when Kevin Keegan took over, and he walked in the room, and he just kind of took control of the room, and everyone just listened. You could hear a pin drop, and that's all. And he was the same. But it's just amazing when you meet people, especially when they're your heroes as well, and they turn out to be all right. Yeah,
I did one with John Barnes. You know, obviously he's a big Liverpool. He was a Liverpool name, but he's a massive legend. You know what I mean? So I'm sat there having my dinner, thinking it's John Barnes. I mean, how did this happen?
Do you know who makes me smile? I've never met him. I've met his son a couple of times, but I just know that if I'm not one for getting starstruck, but if I ever met Ian Wright, I know I wouldn't have a word to say to him because there'd be nothing coming out. The guy is
positive, isn't he?
He's a legend, isn't he? He's
always laughing, isn't he?
Yeah.
I know someone that's met him, and it's a bit of a funny story. I used to work for a letting agent, and Rachel, our mate who we could drink it with, she works at a letting agent, and she goes out and she said, I'm not showing this lad round this flat. She said, he can't, he's time wasting. Thought he was a drug dealer. Turns out it's Sean Wright Phillips. So anyhow, she's walking out the shop. This window comes down, this Range Rover. She says, yeah, look, do you want to get in here with me? She says, no, I'll take my own car. You follow me. Anyhow, showing him around the house, and she's racking her brains. Where she's seen this? Where do I know him from? And she says, I know who you are now. He said, yeah, love, yeah. I mean, right. You're the bloke off the lottery, aren't you? And he's going, I played for England and scored hat-tricks. I played for Arsenal, and you only know me from the bloody lottery.
Funny.
But again, she said he was such a nice bloke. And again, you tend to find people that have come from lesser backgrounds like myself and, and smaller upbringings. They're the ones that don't seem to forget where they've come from and are willing to share with people and stuff.
Working class background means a lot to a lot of people. Do you know what I mean?
Of course it does. Yeah.
Like Rashford now, he should get every award going for me. He doesn't have to do anything that he does. He does that because he's been there and he's encountered it himself, and he knows how tough it is. And I've got the utmost respect for him. You know what I mean? I think it's amazing.
So let me ask you a question then, just on that basis, right? So we have Sir Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah. Tax avoidance, Lewis Hamilton. Yeah.
And we have, like you say, Rashford. You know, what I can't get in my head is everything that's gone on over the last month or so since he's been on at the government, and let's get some food parcels, whatever, sorted out, and then he's identified that there's a problem with it.
Yeah.
And he's pulled them up and he's made them change the ways and one thing and another. And then you've got Lewis Hamilton, that for me, he's not even the best driver.
See, Lewis Hamilton plays in a sport that's got about 20 other people doing it in the whole world. That's it. There's only 20 Formula One drivers. So it's not like there's thousands of them. And it's all about the cars. It's about the cars as well, not the drivers. Yeah. So don't get me wrong. Utmost respect for him. It's not an easy thing to win. He's won it loads and loads of times. But it's a privileged sport, innit, to say the least.
Yeah, it is. Because you got to have the money to get into it.
Yeah. You have to do all that karting thing and all that. So, you have to go through the ranks of karting and stuff. So there's a kid there now who replaced Hamilton when he had COVID. His dad's a billionaire who owns a racing team.
Yeah, but he won the race, didn't he?
He won the race, yeah. Oh no, he didn't win the race, but he could have done. He came about third, didn't he?
Right.
He was up there. He was right up there till the end and didn't win it. But his dad's a billionaire, so I don't know. It's by all means give him a knighthood. I'm not begrudging him that. I'm just saying, he's in a sport where there's not a lot of people doing it.
Yeah, I like to say the tax avoidance as well.
Yeah,
he's a bit of a
he lives in the south of France and doesn't pay any tax to the British government.
No.
Yeah, and the other one that's got me as well, who I am absolutely astounded, is Chris Whitty, right? Professor, how has he not been knighted? That guy.
The abuse he's had as well. Do you know what I mean?
Mate,
he's been in the front line since March. He doesn't want to be on the telly every night. That's not what he signed up for. You know what I mean?
He's the Andy Oil, right, of politicians. That's what he is, right?
I agree, mate. Honestly, I do.
The guy's a freaking legend, and the fact that he was actually in the COVID wards over Christmas and one thing and another, rather than sat having a Christmas dinner with somebody, he's in the COVID wards, sorting people out. Give him a night.
I got a lot of time for him. Yeah.
So
you work in the NHS, don't you?
I do.
Right. So what is it you do? And I mean, are you a nurse? Are you a doctor?
I do all the IT equipment. So of all the 10 regions of Greater Manchester, Trafford, Bury, all them, we look after all the doctors' surgeries and CCGs. So if their laptop goes down, we send them a new one, or we go and collect the old one and fix the old one, or bin it, or same with the printers, keyboards, mice, anything that's IT. We our warehouse in Failsworth, we manage it from there.
What address is that warehouse?
I can send you a map, and the back door's dead wobbly. It's dead wobbly.
Put a part of it. Well, I'll slide it.
We're in Failsworth. It was funny when we first moved to Failsworth. They were saying, right, this is where your warehouse is going, this, that, and the other. And after about 2 hours, I said, "What sort of alarm is it?" And they went, "Oh, we've not got an alarm." I said, "All right, no, we're going to have £1 million worth of IT equipment and no alarm. I think we need an alarm." So that was my contribution to the meeting, and I thought it was quite. I love it though. I love it. Yeah. It's a great job.
Have you got a pointy head under that hat then? Are you like a bit of a Tefal nerd?
Not at all. I'm not IT literate at all.
Really?
I'm just very good at logistics and organising stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
So if you need 2,000 laptops sending out to the doctors in the next few days, I can piss that, no problem. You know what I mean? I can assign them to everyone. I can make sure they're all right, but I don't know how they work. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Good turn it on. But you got it anyway.
Yeah. I'm like the same with women. I mean, I know where they are. I just can't turn them on.
Join the club.
Retired now. I've had enough of all that messing about.
So
I've got broadband.
Have you got broadband? Yeah. So is there anything that, looking forward, you'd love to? Would you love to do TV and stuff like that? Or
no, because I'm 55. I don't wear skinny jeans. You know what I mean? I'd like to get off the comedy circuit altogether.
Yeah.
And just do dinners. That's
right.
I mean,
Really?
Because with every year of me getting older, you can see a picture there in the background of a bloke in a dinner suit.
Yeah.
That was a comedian called Greg Cook. Now, Greg Cook was proper old school. He was on the circuit, and when he got to a certain age, and also he had a few political views as well, but he was getting too old for the circuit. So when you got a gig and as a front row of students, it's the worst thing you can have.
Yeah.
Because they're offended. They're offended by everything. They're offended by everything on behalf of somebody else in case they need to be offended for them. So I hate that. So I have to address it straight away now.
So what do you do? What do you say?
So if I'm emceeing a gig, I'll say, give us a cheer if you're over 30. And there's a big cheer. Give us a cheer if you're under 30. Hey! Right, well, you lot, put your phones away. We don't want to see pictures on your Instagram of what we're doing. So just put your phones away. And if you hear something that might be, oh, this is going to be racist, it isn't. It's called misdirection. I might say something to make you think I'm going to say that. And then last minute I turn and it's not there. So it's in your head. It's not, I'm not saying it. You're thinking it. So the older ones usually cheer.
Yeah.
And the younger ones are like shuffling them, thinking, God, I better put my phone away. And then Greg Cook used to do a joke, and I do this as the tester. And I just say to him, I'll say to one of the young ones on the front row, what's your name? Josh. It's always Josh. Do you like me shoes? And he'll go, yeah. And I'll say, I found these outside a mosque. And all of a sudden, everyone goes, oh, and I go, hang on, what have I just said? Sing it through to the end. Don't be judging me just yet. I said, there was hundreds of them. Again, half for laughing, half for like looking about leaving. And I said, look, you're being judgy. If you think that I'm making a joke of all the shoes being outside because it was a mosque, then you're the problem because there was a bouncy castle in the car park. That's what all the shoes were doing. So that sort of like lets them know.
Yeah.
So you point it out first, and then every time I do a joke similar as I go along, if I hear a, what did I say? Shut up.
Wait for the bouncy castle.
Yeah. So it works.
Yeah.
So what you're going to do going forward then is, you know, are you definitely going to go for the sportsman's dinners and that kind of thing?
I've already got gigs in the diary for dinners and stuff. I was doing loads I lost about, I don't know, 15 grand's worth last year.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, but I'm not bothered about that. I've been sat in the house. I've not had to travel anywhere, so it's not been a problem. I've not had it, so I've not missed it. But it'll come back because, as daft as it sounds, as I've got a year older, those comedians that were like 61, 62, they've got a year older as well.
Yeah.
So, you know, even though I'm considered a youngster, I'll be coming through now, and then that's going to be my attack. So that's where I'm going to be going for.
Who do you consider to be your influences? So, I mean, for me, if I was getting in comedy, I'd like to be sort of pushing the boundaries and leaning on the edge a little bit like Jimmy Carr or somebody like that. So what about you?
Probably someone like Smug, you know, telly wise, I don't know, just people who tell stories, you know what I mean? I'm just trying to think who I like. There's a few dinner comedians I like. I went to the Embassy Club when I was 18, as everyone, I'm sure you did.
Yeah.
You know, and obviously you're not allowed to say you like Burning Man anymore because straight away you're a Nazi. So like it's a load of bollocks. The guy was absolutely brilliant.
He was a genius.
Some of the stuff he said might have been a bit dodgy now because we have moved on. Yeah. And certain words I might have said when I was 15, I certainly don't say now I'm 55.
Yeah.
So, you know, you grow and you change with it.
Yeah.
But I just think you can't ignore Bernard Manning.
No.
You know, you can't just forget about him because of some of the things he said in the 70s. It's a load of bollocks.
At the end of the day, he would have done we did a session in Vegas, didn't he? He did a season in Vegas, so it can't be that bad to go to America and to entertain for a week. And the thing is now, if you look on YouTube, the amount of stuff that's been retweeted and resent about Bernard Manning, it's unbelievable.
Yeah,
you know, it's probably on that internet now more than, you know, the likes of Jimmy Carr and Alan Carr and the modern day stuff. And people, I don't know if people do it on purpose or.
The other thing you got to think about with people like that as well, they don't see the fact that it was a big philanthropist, and a lot of the money that he earned, he gave away to charity.
Yeah.
You know, and people don't pick up on that kind of thing, do they?
They do like 3 or 4 gigs a night, and 2 of them would be for charity.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be getting paid for them. The fee would be going to the charity.
That's it. Yeah.
So, yeah.
But he'd have a Rolls Royce outside waiting for him.
Yeah. Yeah, I just think the thing about doing a dinner as well is I'm not sexist, but the majority of the audience is blokes. So you can go a little bit more, push the envelope.
Yeah.
I have done it where I've turned up for a men's evening and there's been women in the audience. So I've absolutely battered them. I've absolutely roasted them.
Yeah.
Because they knew when they turned up, it was a men's do. So I'm not holding back because they're there.
Yeah.
And you can get away with more. I'm not saying I don't do anything that's risque. I'd never say anything I don't want to wear myself. In fact, I wrote a joke at Christmas that was that funny. I was so proud of it, but it was too dark to put on Facebook.
Why?
So I said, because I've got people on my Facebook who are like relatives in the 60s, and you'll never see a swear word on my Facebook. I'll never swear on Facebook. But this joke was so good. I had to say, listen, I've written a brilliant joke. It's too dark for you. If anyone would like it to hear it, let me know and I'll send it your messenger. So I must have had about 50 messages.
So you're going to say it now? You're going to tell us now?
Well, I will do now, but this is my sort of like disclaimer.
Go on.
I am aware that it's a bit, I'm going to get it up on my phone to get it word for word. Let me see if I can find it. No, I love it. It's not risque as such. It's just, yeah, it is. Everybody said, oh, it is bad, that. No wonder you kept it off. Right, here we go. Disclaimer, just saying, right. Driving home for Christmas and my car is full of flies due to me spilling a load of maggots in the boot 2 months ago. Never felt more Christmassy. Not because I'm driving home for Christmas, but I feel like one of the kids in the Live Aid Do They Know It's Christmas video with all the flies. I thought that was genius. You know what I mean? I am aware that some people might be offended by that or upset, but
some people won't remember Live Aid. You forget how long ago that was, So yeah, that's a Christmas joke that'll probably come out every year. December 84 was when it was out, because I remember being on Newsround, them all gathering for the record studio.
Yeah.
Newsround.
And that's why Wham's Last Christmas never got to number one then.
Number two,
the biggest selling number 2 of all time, but you know that because you're music legends.
Well, I thought about legends, but yeah.
Legends, maybe.
Legends.
Yeah.
So, because obviously, look, I met you because you were at the Rev, and you come in and you program your shows and what have you on a Saturday morning, and you sometimes come and have a chat with me and Al. So, would you like to go back into radio? Did you?
Yeah, I loved it. Do you know what I mean? I was only there. I wasn't there that long because obviously it got sold, didn't it? And I got moved on. But I remember turning up. for the first time, and I got introduced to Al, and they went, "This is Big Al," and I thought, "Oh God, Big Al," and I'm Big Lou. Oh, he's been here for years, and I'm like, I'm muscling on the big thing. I'm not even that big. But I thought Revolution was brilliant. Yeah, you know, you guys were spot on.
Bless you.
Honestly, you were so good, and it was like. I knew I wasn't a tin pot, like, no disrespect to Withenshaw FM. You know, it's a community radio station and they do the best, but it wasn't anywhere near as professional as the Rev.
It's a different league, the Revolution.
A massive jump. It was a massive jump for me. Yeah. And I remember getting the phone call off Steve Penk and I was like, wow, that's like proper radio, that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was a big 261 fan back in the day. Window Sticker, the lot. Mike Schaff, Love Can Be Fun, all of that. I used to listen to Sweeney in the afternoon. So, you know, and Penk was is a legend. So yeah. But I remember coming in there and thought it was brilliant. Yeah.
Arguably, they don't come any bigger out of Manchester than Steve Penk, did they? You know.
No.
No. You know, he was just
because when you do that local Manchester, and then all of a sudden you're on Radio 1, it's like, wow, he's one of ours.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, he's one of ours, and he's made it.
I was gutted when he left Key 103. You know. I was devastated when I left Key 103 and he went down to London. It was almost like it was like your wife had left you, because being a taxi driver, you get in the car and you put him on in the morning and he's with you and he takes you through that sort of period of time, you know, and then you one Monday morning he weren't there and it's like, what's going on here? And he'd gone off on holiday. And I used to get really like, oh, when's he back? When are you coming back? You know. And then when he decided he was leaving, oh man, I was mortified. So as you to get the call and say, you know, because I've been at the Revolution before. I'd gone to another station. I got the call and he went, "Are you going to come home? Are you going to come back to the Revolution?" And I was like, "You fucking damn right I am.
Yeah.
I am on my way. I'm in the car now."
Well, I thought about it and I realised that radio's been in my life ever since I was, you know, I could hear.
Yeah. It's right, isn't it?
Family had the wireless on all the time.
Yeah.
I could probably write down a timeline all the way up to now with who I listened to, you know, in that period. Whether it was Radio Luxembourg and a little Coca-Cola can that I had in an earpiece. I used to listen to that. Radio Luxembourg, like 1978. And it was just all the punk stuff and it was brilliant.
I used to put a speaker under my pillow of a night time. So I won't wake my mum and dad up and I won't get in trouble, you know. It's great. Yeah.
Oh, and little white earpieces that used to fill with a wax.
Yeah, the little white one. That's what I had. A little white one. It had orange on the end where it had wax in it.
Yeah, you had to suck it to get out of the hole. You'd be choking on a lump of wax.
What's that on your teeth? And a bit of wax.
Yeah, take it to another level. Anyway, we have unfortunately got to the point where we've got to sort of put an end to it and close it down.
Talk to you all night, lads.
Oh, mate, this has just been fantastic. The speed that your mind works as well. I don't think I could ever jump on a stage and do what you do.
You'd be surprised, mate. You'd be surprised. Once you get used to it, it's fine.
Well, listen, I suppose if you can educate him to do that.
5 years ago in February.
Is it?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's gone quick, hasn't it?
I've had a stroke since then, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had a few tugs.
Show off.
Big Lou, bless your cotton socks. Thanks very much indeed.
Lovely to see you, boys. Take care.
Great seeing you too. Get you back on again, mate.
See you later. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.